Welcome to Kentucky Hidden Wonders. I'm Janette Marson.
And I'm Mason Warren.
Together, we're uncovering the secrets, stories, and hidden gems of Shelby County, Kentucky.
From unforgettable places to off-the-beaten-path adventures, join us as we explore Kentucky treasures and Shelby County's best-kept secrets.
Today on our show, we have Dr. Sally Broder, the executive director or owner of HorseSensing. And correct me, Sally, if I've got that wrong. What's your exact title?
Executive director and founder.
And queen of all things HorseSensing.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you so much for being on. I appreciate you. So first of all, tell us and the listening audience a little bit about yourself and then what brought you to HorseSensing.
Okay, so I'm a clinical psychologist originally from California, and I am certified in equine therapy as well as licensed as a psychologist. And I started HorseSensing in California in about 2009 to have a way to work with veterans with PTSD using horses.
So what brought you to Kentucky?
American Saddlebred Horses. So I've been a huge fan since I was 15 years old. I went to work as a groom with saddlebreds. And this is the place to be. Shelby County is the saddlebred capital of the world. And I had a horse that was going to be born here, a saddlebred. I had bred to a stud out here. And so we kept visiting, and when the baby was born, we were visiting more and more, and finally we bought a home here so that we could retire here, and we came out here and we did the opposite of retire. We started HorseSensing full-time 6 days a week.
And how long ago was that? How many years?
Well, we arrived in 2014, launched the Kentucky HorseSensing really about 2020, which was COVID. And open to the public 21, which was still COVID, and then got a residential program in January of 2022. And so now we house 15 men now, 16 men. And we're building housing for 4 more, so it'll be 20 by springtime. And they stay with us 9 months or longer.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing. So in your residential program, who do you typically work with? Who is in your residential program at HorseSensing?
It's going to be a veteran that perhaps after they transitioned out of the military, they really haven't been doing that great, no direction really. Maybe they're kind of stuck, and some way we find them. They could have a substance use issue. And they get referred to us. We're pretty unique, and it's a chance for them to have all day, every day equine therapy while they learn how to work in a trade.
Gotcha.
Yeah. How many do you have? How many residents, veterans?
So at the main facility, we have 6 that live on the property, and then at the phase 2 house around the corner, we have another 4. And then we have room for another 6 in the phase 3 house. So at any time, there's going to be about a third of them that are veterans. And then the rest would be men in recovery from addiction. Right now we have a military veteran, Army, and 2 Navy veterans.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, I know you said you're Dr. Sally Broder, and you've got great background. So, as these men and women are coming to you, can you think of a story where somebody's life was really changed because they were at HorseSensing and meeting you and your husband and doing all the things that you do at HorseSensing?
Oh, sure. Thank you. I don't know if I said it earlier, but what we do is we teach them how to work professionally in the American Saddlebred horse industry. So in 22, when we first launched the residential program, we happened to get, in our very first class, we got 4 veterans, 2 female, 2 male. And one of the males was a gentleman named Chris Carl, who was an Army vet, Iraq vet. And he dug into the program. He had very serious anxiety and PTSD, and we put him with a horse that had equal PTSD to him. And so the benefit of that was we had to teach Chris how to learn to calm down himself so that the horse wouldn't kill him, basically. And as a result, the horse now tolerates people much better. And Chris went on to be quite a success in the horse industry, working after he left us for Stone Ridge Stables with Joey Newman. And then about a year ago, I was looking for someone to fill my education director position. And that essentially is the person that teaches all the guys everything they need to know, and then the horse trainer teaches the other. And I asked Chris if he would come and take that position. And so that, 2 years later after going through the program, he accepted. His boss has really never been quite as nice to me ever since then, because he's just the perfect guy. When people call me, they say things like, Sally, do you have another Chris Carl? So he has really found himself through working with the horses and through our program, and we're just really proud that he's there.
Oh, that's so good. Mason and I have both been to HorseSensing, and I am a little bit afraid of horses, and I'm thinking horses sense what people are feeling. Is that
they can? They definitely can. And going back to Chris and that horse, when he first started working with that horse, there was an opportunity for him to be in the bullpen when they were training him to pull a cart. And the horse flipped out and ended up kicking Chris in the face accidentally.
right?
And I saw it, and he was laughing. I said, "What are you laughing about?" He said, "Well, Lukey just kicked me in the head." And I said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "Well, if that's as bad as it's ever going to get, I'm fine. I'm not afraid anymore."
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Well, that is better him than me, I guess. Anyway, so you're on your farm. It's all saddlebred horses, right?
Almost all.
Okay. So why saddlebreds? Why did you pick saddlebreds to be the breed? I know you said from a younger age you've always kind of loved them, but what drew you to them when you were younger and then to stick with it now?
Well, so you guys go up every year to the Kentucky State Fair.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we hold our World Championship horse show.
Yep.
So the saddlebred horse is what we call, he's called the peacock of the show ring, because our breed wants to be everything, all the beauty and all the power and all the presence that he is. Mm-hmm. And they literally show off for you.
They are so fancy.
Oh, yes.
They're so fancy. The majesty
Fun to watch,
of them.
definitely. Yeah.
And there's nothing like them. And I was exposed to my first saddlebred at 15. I had started with quarter horses, saw that first saddlebred, got an offer of a job as a groom, and I never looked back.
So I guess it's the magical, the way the beauty of the horse is truly what drew you to them.
They're also big people pleasers. They're big and powerful, but they also want to please you, and they're smart. So if you try to direct them in a way to train them, as long as you use kindness and reward them, they want to perform their job for you. And so they're very sensitive and alert, and there's just in a way, they're similar to a thoroughbred, because a thoroughbred is what we call a hot-blooded breed, and so is a saddlebred. But I think the saddlebred is a little bit more able to attune to the rider. So there are lots of reasons that we love them. They're very versatile, too.
That's neat.
Gotcha.
Now, you mentioned the Kentucky State Fair. Mason, of course, and I are always there. But it's exciting that the World Championship is
Yes.
right here in Kentucky. Do you have horses that will be, you'll be showing here at the here in Shelby
Louisville?
County or in Louisville?
We have at least 3, if not 4, that will be as part of HorseSensing. The guys train with show horses. They work on the show horses, and we'll be taking at least 3, if not 4, to the local shows. And there's 2 that we would like to take to Louisville, to the Freedom Hall, to the World Championship. So we're going to work towards getting there. It's very expensive to enter, to go, to stable, to the whole thing. So you have to make sure you got the blood stock to take it.
Gotcha.
But you work towards it every day.
Yeah. What, and you've touched on it a little bit, kind of emotionally, but what sets apart a saddlebred from a different type of breed of horse for the non-horse people physically? Like, how does a saddlebred look different from another type of horse and things like that?
Okay, so if you look at a quarter horse, you're going to notice that their neck just naturally hangs off of their shoulder lower, and that's actually something that they like. Like, that's part of the breed specs. The point of the shoulder and the withers in a saddlebred, you want to see the neck coming up from that point. You want to see a long, tall, graceful neck and a beautiful head perched on top with the ears forward. You also want to see a beautiful back with the tail that's perched up and out. And then in terms of what their movement is like, there's something that we call motion or action. And that's they are born and bred to bring their knee and their hocks up. So instead of trotting straight out, they trot up. And with our shoeing and our training, we accentuate whatever they're born with. And so if you ever saw a picture of a saddlebred with like the one right behind you, that mare has the knee and knocked up in the air. Okay. And that's something that they naturally have. So that sets them apart as well.
Gotcha.
They're so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So beautiful. And you have a beautiful farm too.
Yeah.
So that leads me to, can people come to see your farm? Do you do tours? Talk a little bit about how a visitor could get involved and see these wonderful horses that we've been talking about.
We have started giving tours, both on a small and larger scale, and we invite bus tours. They just call us at our number. And then anyone that's interested in touring the farm on an individual or small tour basis can just call us. Also, it's a good way to see if you might even want to come out and volunteer. We have lots of volunteers, and we have a great time working with the horses. It's beautiful out there. It's a great place to bring your kids. We have community events where we invite people to the farm several times a year. But we would love to see more tour groups, for sure.
Absolutely. So what would a tour look like? Let's say I've got my motor coach and we're heading your way. What would a tour typically look like? Or what do you do on it? What do people see?
Do they get to brush a horse, feed a horse, anything like
right.
that? What's the hands-on part of that?
So for the people that do want the hands-on, we invite them to have a grooming lesson. We also invite them to learn how to handle the horse a little bit, and we take them out and teach them how to manage the horse on the ground, how to walk. And then also we do demonstrations. So American Saddlebreds have 3 gaits, 5 gaits. They also go in a buggy or a carriage. So we give demonstrations of those so people can see the example of the breed. We also have, believe it or not, we have a mini horse. And so kids love our miniature horse. We have another one coming. So for the little ones and the people that are a little nervous about bigger horses, we put them on the miniature horse and a pony or 2 that we have.
Now I'm guessing it's not a miniature saddlebred. It's just a little horse. That's a silly question, probably.
Registered miniature horse.
Okay.
He's 32 inches high.
Oh, that's adorable.
I have to measure my dog.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't know how my dog compares to that. So.
He's Red Fox's Pistol Pete.
Oh, my goodness. That's
So
exciting.
that makes me, how you hear, especially if you're watching like the Derby or anything like that, horse names, and they're wild and they're out there.
Sure.
So how do horse names work? Is there like a naming convention? How does that work?
It's all about the breeding. I'll give you an example. So let's say my last colt that's going to go into training now, his father's name is The Word Is Out. His mother's name is Twinkling Charm. My job was to put those together. So when you see a name, you're going to see a derivative of one or both of the sire and the dam. And so what I ended up with that colt was Shakespeare's Charm, thinking of Shakespeare as the bard, as the word.
Okay.
But if you look at a name, think of who's the daddy, who's the mom.
Fantastic.
Interesting.
And you can follow those bloodlines all the way back. So we're way back into the 1800s, our saddlebred breed begins.
Okay. Wow.
So also, I'm just thinking, how are you funded? I know our listeners may want to know a little bit. They may want to donate, or they may just be curious. Or how is HorseSensing funded each year to do these wonderful things?
I am busy writing grants constantly. Working on one for Brown-Forman right now.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've never asked for one from them, so I'm going to cross my fingers. It's all grants, individual donations, and we also have these fundraisers, but we do just rely on that stuff. We don't get any like major government funding or anything like that.
A very worthy cause. So Brown-Forman, if you're listening,
yes,
HorseSensing is worth every penny. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned lots of fundraisers. I'm sure
big events.
Oh,
and I was gonna say,
yes.
what are some of the big events that you've got?
Maybe the
coming up?
annual ones.
Okay.
So tell us what's going to happen.
Well, funny you should ask that question, because our next one is going to take place right here in Shelby County. It's called the HorseSensing Hoedown. And that'll be March 22nd. And it was great fun last year. We have a mechanical bull. We have line dancing lessons we had last year. We have poker, great barbecue, and everybody wears cowboy hats and cowboy boots. And we have a costume contest of your favorite country star. So that's March 22nd. And then the next thing would be, we have a pie contest the end of April. We have a big fall festival in October. And then we have a new fundraiser that's going to be July 12th. That's called a 4x4 show and shine.
What is that?
Trucks, any type of 4x4 are going to be all over our 30-acre property. And they compete for who's got the hottest chassis. I don't know what they compete for, but it's a chance for the kids to come out and see these great vehicles at a horse farm.
Yeah. That is horsepower. And
Right, horsepower. Right.
There you go. There's your marketing
So you
campaign.
could use that for free.
We always like to have a way for people to visit at the same time that we're doing a fundraiser, because they love it out there.
Are you doing a chili cook-off this year?
Sadly, we're not.
Okay.
So we're going to serve chili at the Fall Festival.
Oh, that'll be good. That'll be good. I recall being a judge for that.
Yes, you were.
It was fantastic fun. All the other judges also had tender tummies like I, so we weren't sure who was going to test the really hot chilies, but that was wonderful. And I know your pie?
The pie and cake contest.
That's similar, only pies
April
and cake.
26th.
Okay,
yeah.
Wonderful.
It's all chocolate this year. All chocolate cakes and pies.
And then for the hoedown, I think I've seen on Facebook that you've been promoting some line dancing lessons and places that people. So do you recall like where people can go to learn line dancing?
Our next lesson is coming up this Sunday, and it's at the Baghdad Ruritan Club.
Okay, I don't know
And
if
we
this
do
will
have a
air in
flyer.
time for that, but do they do that throughout the year?
Yes.
Ruritan? Okay.
Yeah, at Baghdad Ruritan Club. I think we're doing it every other Sunday past the hoedown. And we people love to line dance, so it's a lot of fun.
Gotcha. And if people want tickets for the hoedown, do they buy them online on your website, or
They
how do they
can
get
come
tickets?
to the website, and I've got the link there where they can buy tickets or tables. And if they want to sponsor, they can call me directly. That's probably the best way.
And your website is?
www.horsesensing.com.
And phone number that you would want people to call?
Oh, thank you. 650-776-4313.
Is there anything else about horse sensing that you would want people to know about? So our show name is Kentucky Hidden Wonders, and you are truly a hidden gem, hidden wonder, but your name is getting out there definitely. But what would you want those listening to know about horse sensing and your passion for what you do?
I think that more than anything, I always like to have people think about if they've known someone in their life, in their family, friends, relatives that has needed help with either substance abuse or mental health. And if they feel like they could be helped by what we have to give, we're totally free. That's another thing. We don't cost anything. So I want people to know that. Also that it's not just for the people that we serve in the residential program, that we're also completely open to the public and the community. And I want to urge people to come because we want to share what we have.
So how do people find? So if I was having a problem, I could just reach out to you?
You just call that number and you're going to get me because it's my cell phone.
That's fantastic. What a wonderful mission. Mason, can you think of any other questions? I love horse sensing.
How many people have you had go through the program altogether since you opened?
So right now we're on number 44.
Okay.
So.
All right.
What's your plans for the future?
Yeah.
Like what? So you've talked a little bit about what you've got now.
Right.
What's
coming up?
Yeah. What's coming up for horse sensing future wise?
That's interesting. So my goal for 2025 is to have 35 in this year, serve 35 people in the residential program and place them at horse farms and get them on their feet and moving in a positive direction and reduce the suicide rate.
Well, that is a fabulous mission.
Yes.
And did you say that you have all three of your your houses? I mean, they're all three built, and are you planning on more residential homes for people? Or while they're
believe
staying?
it or not, we're expanding by converting our second barn into housing for 4 more people. So you know how barn dominiums are really popular right
there
now.
You go.
We're building our very own barn dominium.
Get in on the trend.
And it saves so much money to use an existing structure. And so we don't have to raise quite as much.
Yeah.
Right? Have you already started on that?
Yes, we have. Floors in,
exciting.
framing's done.
Oh my goodness.
Then the snow started.
Snow, yeah.
It's being built by the Amish team that built our original barn.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, they will have it done in no time if
weather cooperates. Yeah.
Yes, if the weather cooperates. Anything else, Mason?
I don't have anything else. I think that was.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
guys.
thank you.
A wonderful mission, and we love horse sensing. We love you, and we're so happy that you're on our show.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been Kentucky Hidden Wonders. Thank you to Dr. Sally Broder for coming on the show to talk about horse sensing, and thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe and leave us a review. It means the world to us. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new Kentucky Hidden Wonder. Bye, everyone. Kentucky Hidden Wonders is a ShelbyKY Tourism production. Your hosts are Janette Marson and Mason Warren. To learn more about ShelbyKY Tourism and to start planning a visit, head to visitshelbyky.com.